I'm pretty sure by now a bunch of you have seen this video of the walking personification of being stressed in your early 30s bitch about some black Republican and how he's nothing but a tap dancing for a bunch of white people.
Be a close election in Georgia because Walker has the backing of the Republicans. Now you ask, why are Republicans backing this man who's so clearly unintelligent, who so clearly doesn't have independent thoughts? But that's actually the reason. Walker's going to do what he's told. And that's what Republicans like. That's what Republicans want from their to do what they're told. And Walker presents exactly as a person who lacks independent thoughts, lacks an independent agenda, lacks an independent ability to grasp policies. And
what I find so interesting is how many people are going to sit here and be shocked by it and the level of hypocrisy in that statement. Because if you're going to sit here and say, oh my God, I can't believe a black person would say this about another black person in the year 2022, and you're obviously not paying attention. Because if you don't think the same as a bunch of other people, that immediately gives them reason to just call you something out of the blue. Anti-black, racist, coon, colorist, transphobic, homophobic, lesbian phobic, all these different labels only because you think differently. You could never know this person, never harm this person, never even be in the same vicinity as this person. And only because you think differently, that allows them to just say, hey, I don't like you and this is what you're doing. You're nothing but a coon. You belong on the field because all you're doing is tap dancing for your white overlords. And when the hypocrisy comes in is if you're going to say this about a black Republican doing nothing but being a good little for the white overlords, you would have to hold that same stance for the black Democrats who are doing nothing but tap dancing for their white overlords.
I won't let them get that off. You can't get that off. I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend 10 more dollars on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety nets.
Because I don't know when, why, or how the trend became the Democratic side is only black people, because that's not true. I need people to understand something. It is okay to think differently. Sometimes I get people who give me comments or DMs saying, oh, I wish I could speak up like you, but I'm too scared because I'm afraid somebody's gonna make fun of me or call me a name or disown me as a friend or a family member. I don't know why anyone would drastically give a fuck enough to distance themselves from you all over a difference of opinion. In my humble aspect of the world, that's a weak-minded little bitch who needs to develop a little bit more. All you have to do is hold the conversation. I'm not interested in the back and forths and the weird ad homs and the weird insults. If we disagree, there's nothing wrong with just sitting down and talking it out. It's not to sit there and change your mind. It's not to sit there and say, I'm right, you're wrong. It's to say, hey, I have something to bring to the conversation. You have something to bring to the conversation. Let's have a fucking conversation. I don't know why anybody would get on TV and say the dumbest shit possible, all because somebody thinks differently from them.
Our problem is when black lives are oppressed and don't receive justice, nobody cares. Nothing happens. Something happens to a white person, the world moves, right? So let's get back to Eric Adams. This mayor who is a Democrat, but he spews conservative and Republican talking points. At the end of the day, we have a name for someone like this, and this is someone we call a coon, right? Because he's black man, and he's a white man in blackface, and a very conservative-minded white man at that.
Motherfucker, touch me again! Don't touch me again! Don't touch her, motherfucker! Don't touch me again, motherfucker! I'll pop him in the motherfucker nose! Touch me again! I'll suck you out, motherfucker! What you do? You don't hear anything. Grab her ass, motherfucker! You understand me, boy? Marina, rip your head. Hey! Fuck with me, boy. You get that sorry piece of shit out of here! Hey, Michael, stop! Get that piece of shit out of here. You gotta bring that piece of ass motherfucker out of here.
The simplest thing for Republicans would be to kind of have a normal, kind of above board hearing, let her be confirmed so she doesn't change the balance of power of the court anyway, and go back to talking about the things that work for them, you know, to go back to crying about gas prices or talking about Hunter Biden's laptop or whatever other thing counts as a Republican platform these days, because she is going to be confirmed and she is going to be well liked while she's confirmed, and she's not going against her is kind of a waste of their time. But I don't want to let the Josh Hawley thing lie, because here's where I need the Democrats to step up, because when they try to smear her, I need the Democrats to get up there and defend her just as vociferously as Lindsey Graham defended alleged attempted rape of Kavanaugh. Like, I need that level of energy from the Democrats, especially when they come at her with this trumped up alleged issues about her sentencing on for sex offenders. Because what Josh Hawley is doing, let's be very clear. What Josh Hawley is doing when he tries to do this is he's trying to get her killed. He is trying to get violence done against a Supreme Court nominee. And we know this because when these people go off making their ridiculous claims about child, we know that some of their people show up violently to do stuff, as happened to the New Hampshire pizza parlor. And you know how I know that Josh Hawley knows what Pizzagate is all about? Because guess who's the judge who sentenced the Pizzagate guy? Right. Oh, that was Ketanji Brown Jackson. She sentenced the Pizzagate guy to 4 years in prison. His lawyer had asked for 18 months. The prosecutors actually asked for 4.5 years. So she was lenient. She was merciful to the Pizzagate guy. But they're mad at her for that. And so, like, that's where this stuff is coming from. And so you need to know where it's coming from. And Democrats need to know how to defend her from this stuff instead of letting her out there on her own.
Get the black people. My kids were the ones who Antifa threw bombs and pepper gas at on August 7th.
The black conservative preacher's wife.
Right. Oh, yeah. So because I'm his wife, my kids don't matter?
No, your kids absolutely matter, and
okay,
I think
so
it's crap that they got hurt. But
can we please tell us why?
Nope, I don't engage with you or your husband.
Oh, this is classic, guys. Please get this on camera. This is what white liberal women do. They're 1,000 times worse than Karens. Okay? And I want you to pay close attention. The white liberal women will not engage in conversation with me. Why? Because I do not. Oh, because of who my husband is.
Just to be clear.
So I am devalued. So women matter, right? We don't want women to be oppressed. Women matter. But because of who my husband is, I no longer have value. There she goes. There she goes, people.
I don't know why it's so hard for people to just think critically about a situation and realize, hey, I'm not right all the time. I'm not right in this instance. I got something wrong. I didn't do a good job here. I didn't do a good job there. No, it's this constant grandstanding and making sure I have to say something in order to get the word out, in order to propagate whatever opinion I have, so that people look at me as the right person and people look at the other guy as the dumb fuck who's just sitting there tap dancing like a good little. I don't understand what level of comprehension I, as a casual viewer, am supposed to understand by looking at a random person call another person a and somehow thinking, yeah, that person really is a And for you white saviors in the back who don't understand a fucking thing, you're going to sit there and say, yeah, that person is a because he's not thinking like how I think. And I wonder how that's going to go over well. It's simple. If you have this level of understanding to the point where you think you're always in the right, I'm going to need you to have the basic reality check. You're not right in every situation. You will never be right in every situation. And to think you have individuals who will stand proudly and say, hey, this way of doing something really hasn't garnered any positivity. It's only caused more problems. Let's start to think a different way. And you'll have people say, no, you coon, you bigot, you racist. You're going to sit here and you're going to think like how we think. And if you don't, you're ostracized from the group. We're going to spend all this time creating these weird hit pieces because you think differently from us, because you do things differently from us. Your level of success and how it's different from us because we spend so much time being victims, bitching about how white people are the successor. Yeah, we are going to have a problem with you, sir, especially if you're a black person, because if you don't have that weak mindset of, oh my God, we were slaves, and oh my God, marginalized, and oh my God, how could you not have the same opinions as us, because skinfolk is kinfolk. That immediately opens you up for some reason to be called a bigot, coon, and all this different shit, because instead of attacking the point, all you worthless bitches like to do is throw the random insults because you think that's gonna stick in somebody's soul. And I'm here to let you know, the baby games are over with. It was cool in the beginning because people didn't have the right emotions to handle it, but because they've seen your game and they see you play it repeatedly and not improve upon it, they're gonna sit there and say the worst they can do is call me a dancing for people. If you know who you are, if you know what you stand on, and you know what you're doing is not really anything bad, it's just a different opinion, some random fuck on TV calling you something you're not is not really gonna bother you. It's really gonna get your dick hard, understanding that, hey, this person really got nothing and they spouting a bunch of bullshit to try to make me stop, when it's really just gonna do nothing but make you stronger. I said it in the last video and I'm gonna repeat it here again. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. I don't know where that philosophy started to die, but I want to revive it because I'm a doctor, philanthropist, gynecologist, and all these different things. So in the future, for the people in the back who have a thought and you want to voice it, but you're too scared, understand it's okay to be scared, but eventually you're going to have to buckle the fuck up and actually speak your mind. And to the people in the back holding the signs, calling everybody a bigot because they don't agree with you, fuck you. Understand people are not going to agree with you, and hold conversations. And if you're not going to do that, it's easy. Turn around, go back in the safe space, huddle up, rub each other's ass cheeks, and say, oh my God, we're all in a safe space. It's all gonna be okay. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.